Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business and let's wake up those football gods. Wake up this morning, guys. Wake up, because we're going to need you, because Thanksgiving is just 2 days away, and the Dallas Cowboys will be playing on Thanksgiving against the Raiders at home. We'll get some of that home Thanksgiving cooking, and hopefully the Dallas Cowboys can get back on track. Now, I was getting down here, and I had my thoughts and stuff together, or what I was going to talk about, but I'm seeing that, wow, I'm trying to understand how to take this, because let me read the quote here. Jerry Jones, this is Jerry Jones talking here about Amari Cooper situation, okay? Cowboys wide receiver Amari Cooper was asymptomatic when testing positive for COVID last weekend, okay? Team owner Jerry Jones said on 105 The Fan. Okay, so Jerry said that when Amari Cooper was being tested, he had no symptoms of COVID. Now, the whole thing is he was not vaccinated. We all know he is not vaccinated. And the protocol is, if you test positive, you've got to be out a minimum of 10 days. Here's where it gets to be crazy, is his point. Because, see, this, to me, why even bring this up? It's water under the dam unless you're pissed. Because we already know he's already missed that game. We can't change that game. And then here it is. We've got Thursday's game. We already know he's out for that one. But here was Jerry Jones's point. His point is Cooper wouldn't have been tested before Sunday's games versus the Chiefs had he been fully vaccinated. So in other words, Jerry Jones is saying it's Amari Cooper's fault for missing that game and the next one because he didn't get the shot. At least that's the way I'm interpreting it, okay? For him to go on, I mean, literally, you just threw Amari Cooper under the bus with that. If he had been vaccinated, and this is where, you can talk about Michael Irvin when he went on about, you lift all the weights, you end up getting all the treatments, you get all the operations, you do everything so you don't miss time on the field and let your team down, right? You think of Tyrod Taylor getting a shot between his ribs that punctured his lung to deal with pain. We see the guys on the sidelines there, they pop the tent up, to take a look at you to see if you could still walk. You think Tyron Smith playing isn't a needle, some cortisone shots and painkillers in the foot to deal with it? You don't think that's not the case? I'm trying to remember the pain medication that a lot of football players take. I remember Wiley was talking about it was causing liver damage to him that they say don't take before the games because it causes internal bleeding. That's okay. That's okay. But the shot, this is where I got to draw the line. And I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to mess with anybody's morals. I'm pointing out where Jerry Jones seems to be a little myth about it. Let me read this thing again, because it sounds like you don't bring this up. I mean, this is, okay, it's done. I'm not happy about it and so on. But you've literally put him on blast. You are literally pointing your finger at Amari Cooper. Cowboys wide receiver Amari Cooper was asymptomatic when testing positive for COVID last week. Team owner Jerry Jones said on 105 The Fan. His point is Cooper wouldn't have been tested before Sunday's game versus Chiefs if fully vaccinated. Hence, he would have played in that game, and hence he would be playing on this Sunday. So he's saying you missed 2 games because you did not get vaccinated. Now, maybe I'm interpreting it wrong. If I am, please enlighten me, because I don't want to get this wrong. That's the way that I interpret what he is saying right there. So you can see, or at least, again, it's my personal thoughts and my personal opinion, which is what you get everywhere. My personal thoughts and opinions are Jerry Jones, like me, understands there's less days ahead of me than behind me, and knows after the 26 years of chasing that Super Bowl trophy that opportunities are hard to come by. Winning that trophy, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how hard you work. You need the perfect scenario and situations to go all the way. And you need to have everybody doing every single thing, no matter how minute it may seem, to make sure that you are there and ready to perform. And it seems like Jerry might be a little testy about that he's really trying to hold people accountable for trying to win this. I'm really surprised on that one, because throwing the players under the bus isn't typical for the Cowboys. Now, it's moving right along. It was sad watching my boy, Kyle Pizzle last night, going through the agony of seeing his Giants just literally look terrible. I mean, he's like, I don't even remember what it's like to have a winning season. It was 2016, by the way. But they are so bad. You know, the first thing you pop in on Bleacher Report is the Daniel Jones error done. And you have to look at it and start thinking, you got to get yourself another quarterback. You got to think that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That team, beyond even Daniel Jones, you got to look at it and say, Barkley, for all the hoopla of all the accolades and how he's a game changer, it hasn't come to fruition. You got to look at it and say that he's beginning to be on that bust category. He can't stay on the field and healthy. And Dave Gettleman is awful as a GM. The moves that they've made are just horrendous. So Tampa Bay went in there and got the cure-all treatment and looked good against the Giants. And so, of course, today, now, you know what's happened. After the last 2 weeks of, oh, my God, Tampa Bay is awful. Now it's, oh, Tom Brady is scary. Tampa Bay, everybody's got to watch out. Weren't they saying that last week about the Cowboys in Green Bay and Tennessee? The NFL truly has now become the flavor of the week. It's a brand new flavor in your ear. Yeah, it's a brand new flavor in your ear. It is literally changing by the moment of who wins from 1 week to the next. And I'm not saying that they didn't look good last night, but it was the Giants that you have to start putting in the category as one of the worst teams in the NFL. I'm not saying that, oh, I know that the Cowboys, I'm not saying that, but I can look at it and say the Cowboys have been dealing with a lot of players missing. And when you literally have, you know, some of your top players gone consistently, the fact that the Cowboys even have a winning record with the amount of firepower that they have lost during the season, it's amazing that we're not having a season like last year. So let's go on here. Let's take our medicine this morning. Let's listen to the crew at Get Up after praising the Dallas Cowboys for the last 2 weeks. Let's see what they have to say about the Cowboys this week.
What did we see? One of these teams, the Kansas City Chiefs, have been in this moment together multiple times. Mm-hmm. The other team, the Dallas Cowboys, this was their first go at it, and they're 0-1. That team didn't show up. That team didn't seem prepared. That team, the Dallas Cowboys, didn't play with the same type of effort that we saw the Kansas City Chiefs play with. And last week on Friday, I said, you know what? When they asked Dak about the measuring stick and it not being a measuring stick for him, and when he said, you know what, it's about our team and our team winning, I said to myself, you know what? I kind of feel that way too. The Dallas Cowboys, we know who they are. The Kansas City Chiefs of 2021, we're still trying to figure it out. The Kansas City Chiefs played that way, though. The Kansas City Chiefs played like they hadn't proved anything. Mm-hmm. The Kansas City Chiefs played like nobody in that locker room walks around with the ring, and we saw that type of commitment from the beginning. When you watch the beginning of this game, two things were evident to me. You get the pump and go early to Gallup, and Dak Prescott misses him. It's a 3-and-out. Yeah. The Kansas City Chiefs get the football, they run the football, and they take what's there. One team was prepared to win a football game by any means necessary. The other football team felt like just being them was enough.
Yeah, it reminded me of a championship
I can't disagree with that.
all right, and meaning that the contender walks in, he's already talked himself into it, like, I'm ready for this fight, I'm ready for all this stuff, and then halfway through he's like, uh-oh, he ain't ready. And here's the thing that got me. So the whole thing was about this. Dallas let Kansas City dictate the entire game.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that gets me. You're surprised that they were up there to stop the run on first down?
Right.
Like, what the hell? How can you be surprised by that? Here's the great thing. Boy Wonder, I like Boy Wonder.
Kellerman, the offensive coordinator.
Yes, I'm sorry. But I forgot his name. But Boy Wonder, bring motion back, and you could block the edge, gives yourself a chance to run the football. They didn't do it. To me, they were outclassing this game by their own doing as much as Kansas City's doing.
Dan, you used one word to describe what you saw from Dallas that I thought was fascinating.
Scared. I thought the Cowboys played scared. I thought they coached scared. I thought they went into the environment thinking it's too big a deal. The lights were too bright. You could tell by the way that they coached. I mean, there was 3 or 4 times Dak Prescott's at the line of scrimmage trying to check in and out of pressures. Oh, is the zero blitz going to come? And they're throwing these perimeter screens, and Kansas City's like, dude, we're just dropping out and playing zone. And then also, like, the reality of the run blitz by Steve Spagnuolo said, we're not going to let you run the football against us early on. And the Cowboys coached scared, they played scared, and the whole football team acted like they did not belong.
Yeah, like, Ryan, how many times we do slot pressure?
Yeah, I mean, so it's
football. Stop the running game.
To be clear,
it's a run blitz.
You're
not
saying.
complicated whatsoever, and you're right.
It's a run blitz.
Run play action, defense, 1st and 10 thing. And there was not one adjustment by the Dallas Cowboys. It's easy. Hell, every team in the league.
It's easy, so everybody wins every week.
They were blitzing tendencies.
Yeah,
and that's what they were doing defensively. They were doing that, and the Dallas Cowboys never had an answer. On October 30th, though, I was texting with Tyrann Mathieu, and he was kind of had the whole thing with the Kansas City Chiefs fans. And he was like, you know what, it's time to turn it up a notch. Since then, Giants 17, Packers 7, Raiders 14, Cowboys 9 points. Right?
That's what they've allowed. The Chiefs.
They turned around.
That's what that defense has allowed since October 30th, since November 1st in that game. And yesterday was about this defense. So many times we focus on the offense because we expect them to be explosive. The offense wasn't great yesterday. Chris Jones was phenomenal. And L'Jarius Sneed, Charvarius Ward on the outside stood in front of the Dallas Cowboys receivers, and they were glued to him like Velcro. And when you think about these games, these are the important games that change the trajectory of seasons. And I felt like the Kansas City Chiefs played that way.
You know what was interesting? When Patrick was doing that post-game interview, he said it himself.
Right.
When our offense has not been playing well, the defense has been carrying us. I thought Chris Jones was the most dominant player on the football field.
Oh, you mean the minority owner in the Dallas Cowboys now?
He got stake.
He got stake in them. Oh, he owns them.
And then also, listen, Dak Prescott did not play well.
He did not.
He did not play well. And this is the second time in 3 weeks that he did not play well. We are going to pound the table and praise him when he does. He went into a game against the guy that is the best player in the position, at Patrick Mahomes, most talented. And he had to go carry the football team because his left tackle wasn't out and Amari Cooper was out.
I want to point out something here. How good are the Chiefs after beating the Cowboys? Pat Mahomes was 23 of 37, 260 yards, had an interception, and had a fumble loss. He had 2 turnovers and no TDs. It wasn't that Pat Mahomes ended up blowing Dak Prescott away. This wasn't like the week before where he had 5 TDs and 405 yards. This was a day that the Cowboys didn't have Tyron Smith, and they didn't have Amari Cooper, and the Chiefs understood we're going to stack the box and we're going to come after the run and make sure that they can't run. And after getting CeeDee Lamb taken out, that they were literally discombobulated. I'm not trying to make excuses, but the Cowboys had a game plan all week, including Amari Cooper. And then come Friday, you find out when it's too late to really change adjustments. You can say this is what we're going to do, but you have to communicate that with the players, and they have to understand we're going to be in a different role. Compounded with that is the Dallas Cowboys offensive line for the last 3 weeks has not had a consistent setup. We went from Terrence Steele being the left tackle and the right tackle, and Tyron Smith being the left tackle, to now Lyle Collins being the right tackle and Terrence Steele getting his first start at left tackle. We go now to this week where we now have Connor Williams out and we have Connor McGovern. So 3 weeks, 3 different offensive line shakeups. Not trying to make excuses, but the fact that the Dallas Cowboys were still in this game with 3 turnovers, and understand 3 turnovers, you should have gotten blown out on the road finding out that you're losing your playmakers. And all this ballyhoo of the Dallas Cowboys that their season is done, guys, we will get CeeDee Lamb back. We will get Amari Cooper back and possibly get Tyron Smith back for Thursday, as well as D-Law, as well as Brett Irving, as well as Dalton Schultz, as well as Neville Gallimore. The Cowboys will be getting a lot more firepower back from injury than anybody else. And understand that this is literally just one game, because we're now praising the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how good they were last night against one of the worst teams in football. When last week they were talking about Tampa Bay is done. So make sure you understand that this is talk. The Dallas Cowboys, they're going to be okay. Trust me, they're going to be okay. And I would say, Raiders, watch the hell out. And with that being said, you know how we roll. We got all kinds of things that we have to do. You know, they always tell me, Mark, don't quit your day job because there's no future for you here. So I'm going to go get to my day job. And, of course, I'll be seeing you guys later.
Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is